And Larson.
Top 10 flops of the video game industry.
All time?
All time. Number 10. Okami.
The story of Amaterasu, which is Japanese for winged turbo with poor sails. Okami was a masterful homage to Japanese ukiyo-e style art.
The game won a variety of awards, including a few Game of the Years, but unfortunately, the esoteric nature of the game left sales buried in the ground, much like a winged dog's bone.
You do know it's a wolf goddess, right?
No. Wait, do wolf goddesses do that same walk in a circle thing dogs do before they poo?
I imagine they do.
Number 9. Shaq Fu! Let's see. It's an interdimensional story about Shaq, who, while on his way to
Gee, I wonder why this was a flop.
So, let me ask you this, Larson. If you had to choose at gunpoint whether to play this game all the way through or watch Kazam all the way through, which would it be?
Is getting asshole raped by Shaq an option? Because I would rather do that than either of these two things.
Let me go find my Shaq mask and we'll find out.
You have a Shaq mask?
Number 8. Psychonauts. Tim Schafer is a critical success to be sure, and his backlist of game creations stand among the richest works from a single auteur in recent history.
Unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily translate into sales. For example, his much-beloved Psychonauts dropped in 2005 to massive praise for its highly original and creative design and sense of humor.
But the sales just weren't there, and the game ended up a cult classic, eventually going out of print, but finding new life on the Xbox Live marketplace.
Thankfully, though, Schafer still finds publishers willing to take a chance on his fresh ideas, including the recent Brutal Legend,
which also kind of flopped. But Schafer has since said that he's planning on crafting smaller indie games for now, which may prove to be a more successful route for his,
endeavors.
Number 7. Lair! The first-gen game for the PS3 had the pedigree to back it up. Developer Factor 5 had a solid rep in the industry for years.
Upon release, Lair was met with praise for its graphics and presentation, and panned for everything else.
Mainly taking big hits from reviewers over its motion controls, Lair's reviews translated into weak sales.
Factor 5 admitted to having had a near-cursed experience creating the game, and referenced numerous mishaps during the production phase.
Some at Factor 5 even thought the game was haunted.
Woo, Steve, this game is haunted.
Okay, stop that. You know that scares me.
Woo.
Stop it, I hate ghosts.
Woo, boo.
They freak me out! Number 6. Tomb Raider, Angel of Darkness. While not the worst-selling game in the Tomb Raider franchise, it is considered by most Croft aficionados as the worst game in the series.
And yet, they were just 2 nipples and maybe some bush away from being considered the best of the franchise.
Funny how that works. Number 5. Tony Hawk Ride. By the time Tony Hawk's Proving Ground was released in 2007, the franchise had hit a wall and needed something fresh.
So for the next major release in the Hawk series, Activision developed a deck peripheral to give a greater sense of actual skating.
A sensation gamers could get by actually going outside and, skating.
Critics weren't into it, and the game flopped immensely upon release.
But credit to Hawk and the Activision guys, they're retooling the board and the game, and are going to give it another shot with a tentatively titled Tony Hawk's Money Pit.
Wait, no, Tony Hawk's Shred.
Whoa, Shred!
Bananas!
Whoa, bankrupt! Number 4. Pac-Man for the 2600. Expectations were high when the mega popular Pac-Man was released for the Atari 2600 back in the late 1700s. But when proto-gamers brought the game home, they were in for a surprise.
It sucked. Ghosts were all the same color, Pac-Man himself was like some gnarly Dick Peach color, and the box smelled like a garage sale.
Well, to be fair, you did get your copy from a garage sale like last week, so I doubt the original copies actually smelled like that.
It smells like pee-pee, Steve.
Sounds like a YP, Larson. Anyways, the game actually sold like 7 million copies, making it the biggest selling Atari 2600 game ever, but Atari had created 5 million more copies that went unsold, and
copies of the pee-smelling game were returned en masse, so Atari stocks tumbled.
Just goes to show, if you soil your new games with urine before they're released, people probably won't want them.
Well, some people might.
Number 3. Daikatana.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Do you remember this dude in Grandma's Boy?
Oh, sure. I will never have metal legs.
That's basically designer John Romero, whose resume in the 90s was as impressive as the rock star status he received in the industry at that time.
But that hubris cost him majorly when his overhyped and much delayed title Daikatana dropped in 2000.
Featuring an outdated game engine, murky graphics, and a shoddy AI system, the title was panned by everyone.
The magazine ad Romero's company took out, claiming Romero himself was about to make everyone his bitch, didn't help matters either.
So the game flopped big time, and Romero never got his metal legs.
No metal legs for me.
Poor Romero.
Number 2. Too Human. There are very few games that can claim to have been developed over the life cycle of 3 separate consoles, but Too Human is one of them.
Originally intended as a 4-disc bundle for the OG PlayStation in 1999, the game was shifted to the GameCube a few years later, and then finally the 360 in 2005, where it still took 3 more years to see store shelves.
After all that time, during which a nasty lawsuit between developer Silicon Knights and Epic Games went down, the game sold about 50 copies and received very lukewarm reviews.
You might say Too Human was too stupid to be successful.
I'll have to remember that one, Larson. It's very clever.
You should! You wrote it!
For the win! Number 1! E.T. E.T. set the precedent for shitty movie games, and it did so in a way so epic it's gone down in video game lore as the biggest flop ever without question.
It was literally a landfill-sized flop.
That little bastard E.T. was big business in the early 80s. So obviously a video game adaptation was made, and with Atari expecting huge sales on the game, a ton of them were produced.
But then the game ended up sucking hard. Most likely because designer Howard Warsaw only had 6 weeks to design the game to make the Xmas 1982 deadline.
The game still sold a ton of copies, but so many more were made by Atari based on their wildly out-of-whack expectations, the game was considered a massive flop and contributed to the first industry collapse of 1983.
A popular rumor, but one that has traction but never been verified, is that Atari crushed and buried millions of unsold copies of the game in a landfill in El Paso, Texas.
Yeehaw!
You know what happens in El Paso now? Drug wars!
And if you want to freebase some crushed up Atari games, hit us up on the Friendo books at facebook.com/Steve and Larson.
Or if you want to dump us in a landfill in El Paso, Texas, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Steve and Larson. I'm not sure that really made any sense.
We don't want to be giving them ideas. I don't want to personally end up in a landfill in Texas.
No?
No, not really.